Hello, everybody, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. It's a very happy Friday to everybody. So we've got a few things that we're going to look through. Let me go ahead and make this a little bigger. Okay, so first up I grabbed Kat's second demo reel. Let's see. This is so funny. Is Sync Sketch going to do this again today? Wow! Ooh. 2 days in a row at the exact same moment when we needed it. That's so funny. Okay. Man, that is a bummer. All right. We've got him in here, so we'll just take a look at him. All right. I'm just going to let it play through one time, then we'll talk through. Okay, cool. I think the moving helps the images a lot. I think there's two things that we can do with them. I think so. Like the fact that they start off static, I would just have them moving the whole time. Like just and the movement should be slower. So it's just like, it's like put the keyframe before it starts, like before frame 0 or whatever, so that it's actually like art. So when we like cut into it, it's already kind of, and it's just a slow movement. Like. It's a matter of, like, if I would say that this is increasing the scale maybe 20%, it would just be a 5% scale increase. And it's actually better. What I find wait, I'm trying to think how to do this. To start off bigger, to start off at like a 105 scale, and then have it get a little smaller, because it kind of like it's just like a softer thing. When we're kind of approaching something, it feels a little bit different. Let's take a look at this breakdown here. That cut right there felt fast. Just make sure that they're all the same length of time. I think the timing is better on them. I think it's...
So that last image when it's back to the...
That one seems to come on too quickly. It's also because it's a different cut type, so it's cut... Oh, no, it is...
It's all fade to blacks. I just put fade transitions on them, so it wasn't...
It also doesn't quite line up perfectly.
Oh,
it's like a different frame. So it might just be a different frame number. So just check that. Cool. Yeah, and same note on moving this guy. And this looks a lot better. The title slide looks a lot better. Ruby or Andre, do y'all have any thoughts?
No, I think all the stuff that you said. That's what I was thinking. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. The only notice that I have, it's I can't see it right now, but
I'll pull it back up.
Sorry, the little idols that are in the corner, I think they're too close to the corner and too small, maybe. Because I was trying to find them, and it's like over the line.
Yeah, and you could. I think that's a good call, because you kind of want to stay in the title safe. I think maybe make them a little bit bigger. I also make them a little bit transparent too. Might be okay, because they. Although
I had them in the center, and it just looked kind of. I didn't want it to be too distracting, so that's why I kind of put them over to the corner.
Yeah.
So I think Mike, you were saying at one point that you weren't going to necessarily read all the stuff on the screen. So
no. It's just like moving it up, just like a little bit right here.
Okay, so it's not in the play line.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because it also I didn't even see them on the first time, but yeah, it falls right on top of the line of the like the timeline playing line. So yeah, I would also, my art director talking, have it like same a little bit more of like same distance from the bottom and the left, instead of like, because it's like it's not centered, it's not to the left, it's kind of like a little bit lost in between. So maybe a little bit more to the left and up.
I would also keep them on throughout the duration of the shot.
Okay,
I think.
I can do that. I just wasn't sure if they should stay on or not.
No. That's fine.
Should I have them on these two or not?
No.
breakdowns?
No, I don't think that's necessary. Alright, cool. And then just make sure. I would say make them left justified, like the way that this one is kind of here,
Okay.
and then this one kind of goes over here. Like just make them start at the same left-hand point. All right, and we'll take a look at. Assume this is not working still. We will take a look at Keldon's. So Keldon had some notes. Basically, he was saying he wasn't happy with the last little bit of the shot, the last pose. So it'll be the first 2/3 that we're going to take a look at. He's troubleshooting the depth pass, slight blur behind the character, and finally, I wonder if you have any general tips for lighting an animated character. Okay. Yeah, in terms of like general notes on lighting animated characters, it is a magnitude more difficult than lighting a still, and that's because it's just there's so many variables within it, and there's so many things that like noise, like just like things that you can get away with in a still, not worrying about. It's just the next level higher. In terms of the tips and techniques and tricks, I think that you need to. I think the biggest thing is just an understanding of the process and allowing yourself to know that there are things that are going to be a little bit unexpected. So for me, it's about like creating a lighting scenario that works with the environment first in one kind of hero pose, and I set that up. And then I just render it out and see what it's going to look like for the character. And then you start lighting the character in a couple key poses. And then you just like, it happens over time. Like you have to like allow it to kind of form. And then the other thing that you need to know is that there are some subtle things that you can get away with, like animating some light positions, like animating some light values that you would think that the audience will notice, and they will not. Because if you do them subtly enough, like if you like slowly bring up a light intensity over 30, 40, 50, 60 frames, the audience may not notice it. So like one of the things that you mentioned was the light. Let's see, so we've got this light pointing down, that works out really well, but then at the end when it tweaks around, there's a little bit of a how do I say this, there is an opportunity for you to make that whatever you want it to be, in that the audience can see that is facing downward, but they're not going to make the connect. Like you could do what you're doing now and alter the animation on that, but the audience also wouldn't be like, hey, that's facing down now, if there was slightly more light on his face. If the animator was like, I don't have time for that, I would just do it. I would just modify the lighting as if it were facing up a little bit more, because the audience isn't looking over there. Like I'm focused on the character. I'm watching the character, and therefore I would I'm just gonna stay in on him. So I mean, like in the same and the other thing I was gonna say, in the same way that like this is a pretty static camera, in the same way that there is a leap in difficulty between a still and a animated character, there's an additional leap in difficulty when the camera starts flying around and looking all over the place too. Okay, in terms of notes for the shots, let's just take this first little bit. I think there's really good shaping coming in on the screen right side at the beginning, but as we kind of, let's see, it's when he hits this pose that we kind of start to lose some of that, because his body's now shifted a little bit, and it's here that we can do some of that subtle tweaking work, where basically you would, because right now we've got a lovely rim light that's hitting him and kind of coming over his cheek here. As we go forward here, we lose that. this is where you can kind of creep around a light, even localize it, have it ignore this back wall to kind of get that same look. Because I think that is much more successful and creates a little bit more interest in the character than here. Now, again, the audience nose is kind of shifted, so the audience nose is kind of shifted, but would be totally fine if the light still crept around the face. Now, how do we do that? The way that I would look into doing it would be, got this light coming down. You've got it. I would do. There's one of two things that you can do. You can either create a separate light that kind of like that is off through the first pose, and then kind of starts to come on here, like as he pulls his body back. It's like it kind of just happens here. The other thing that you could do is, let's go to the beginning. So the light's here. As he leans forward and comes out of it a little bit, you might be able to get away with just like creeping it over to the side, like very, very slowly. You will start to see the the one problem would be the shadows would start to creep over on the desk. But that would be about it. Let's see. Something just kind of goofy in there. That's fine. But I think your structure is good, right? Because if you're at the point now where it's like your structure makes sense, you're going to make those alterations at the end of the shot. It's just a matter of adding some detail work, like getting some shaping in there. Now, I'll open it up. I'll let you guys. What do you guys think, Ruby, Kat, and Andre?
I mean, I posted this on the. Maybe I didn't read all of his notes, but I was mentioning how this shot here, you would need maybe a little bit more light on the face at the end, because like everything's on the chin, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe I part that he was working on the last part.
Yeah, he's still working through that. So.
Yeah, as far as like what you were talking about, I mean, because I did a shot that was really similar to this. You know, light blockers are your friend to help with the shadows too, keep the shadows creeping. Or if you have like a light fall off node, and you can change how the light's hitting things, that'll help too with the moving that light across. Because I think I ended up animating a light coming on to keep that when I did mine. Just came on at a certain time and turned off at a certain time, just to kind of keep the look going. So, and he's got that extra light in the back on the window, so he could actually maybe have it shift a little bit to the right as the camera's moving too.
Yeah.
Just kind of make it look like a car light coming around or something.
Yeah.
So there's ways to play it.
And one thought that I had, so looking at the background, you've got this nice little subtle animation of this fan going round and round. There is an opportunity, because I was just looking at it like, man, it would be great to get a little, like, figure out a way to get some more shaping. And I was like, should we add some ambient occlusion to the corner? It's already pretty dark. That might make it like jet black. And then I thought, like, what if we pretended like there was a little bit of light reflecting off of this metal fan onto the wall here? Like, and that would just be like having a spotlight with just like a little circling thing that matches the speed of that lamp, because that doesn't, I mean, it's not moving that much, it's just like slowly, and you could have like maybe a little reflection of light bouncing onto that wall. It could be kind of cool in the additive in terms of like what other additional things we could potentially add to this. I think that would be nice, and that would be something that like on a demo reel a recruiter would pick up on and be like, oh, see, they see like there's like an extra level to it there. I think the depth of field will help out a lot too once we get that in. One area that looks really like, let's see, pause on it. Like his hand in here looks really cool. Like you feel the energy of that light hitting the vanilla envelope and then bouncing up, or the folder and bouncing up on his arm. I think that works really, really well in that pose right there. And actually his face looks really good here. Yeah, this is a cool pose for him.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's well, yeah. I think that the light on his face at the end there, that would be something that would be really cool. And then also maybe like some catch lights on the eyes when he goes all the way forward. That might that might be even like you don't even have to put that much light on his face if there are catch lights on his eyes.
Yeah.
To kind of like,
And he's gonna address the more light here at the end, but I do like that idea of like, and once you get there, we'll get some more lighting, we'll get some more hiding stuff in there too. But that'll be really good.
yeah. And the other thing I kind of like keep looking at is like the clock in the back is midnight,
Mm-hmm.
like at midnight, and I keep thinking it's like, is it broken? Did they just like make the clock and didn't bother to change the? So I don't know. Maybe have it like 12:10 or
Yeah, just
if you want to be pretty. If you want to be pretty as every watch advertising, it's 10:10 or
yeah.
10.
The smiley face.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you guys think that the wood's too reflective? Because when he moves, like you can see, there's almost the same amount of skin reflection as there is on the lamp.
I like it on the. I like the. Are you talking about the reflection on the desktop? I think it's. I like it a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little. Yeah. It's like when you have. I don't have it here on this test, but when you have like a lacquered or a varnish on it, it works out pretty well.
Okay.
All right, I do want to hop into move on because I only have about another 10 minutes or so before I have to hop. What is this? We can see faces. There we go. All right. All right, cool. So I wanted to start here with Theo. We got the very first iteration and the update. Like, come on. I'm not going to say, and there's not really much else to say other than like, that looks awesome. I think this looks great. So I will open it up one more time. Ruby, you ready to whoop? All right, here we go, guys.
I'm ready to whoop.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. Great job, Theo. So I will give you. I'll wait until the end of the day. Let me know if there's anything you want to tweak, and then I will. I would love to post this to the Hall of Fame. So really great job with this. All right, Andre. So we've got your updates here. So I think this is actually a good transition between these two because you made some. Obviously the mountains look better. Everything else is. I think everything else, like the core structure of this is there, right? Like the lighting has got good shaping. There's actually a really nice gobo that's happening. I think back. I don't know if it's a gobo or just the way the light's naturally falling, where it's like allowing that to fall into shadow while this patch comes into light, and there's like a little patch there. It's just
it's a spotlight on the top of the trees. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it feels very natural. I think the next steps for you, and like using just Theo because we have it here as a reference, is adding atmospherics,
Okay.
and then subtly, like doing things like perhaps darkening, some of the like getting maybe some more shadows here in the foreground to allow that to get a little bit darker to read in, to push us back in there a little bit. But I think I think structurally everything's in a really nice place. I actually think the snow values are looking really good too. If there's a way to get like this level of brightness actually pushed back so it's closer to the house, I think that would be cool because then we can kind of because that's like that's that like fine tuning stuff of like building the structure where it's a little bit darker on the outside and really like kind of pushes our eye into the middle. I think the sky is really pretty. Getting some light wrap on the edge of the on the edge of the mountains would be really good too. So just like a little color bleed from the sky peeking over there.
Cool.
But yeah, I think this is looking really good.
Nice.
Cool. Anybody else before we slide? All right, let's take a look at Austin. We've got 4 images here from Austin. Make these bigger. So I think that the like adding a little bit of darkness and like darkening the background has really helped. I think getting the focus on the characters is like they're starting to pop a lot more. Yeah, I think this is looking good for now. I want to see it animated out a little bit, even at the low resolution would be fine because I want to see how the characters start to move through the light a little bit. But I like the red versus her. It would be. I'm curious. Thinking from a design standpoint, because we've got the red hitting back here, and then but it doesn't really. We don't really see it on the ground. other than I guess kind of right here and then a little bit on her, but I'm not like it's hard because that red influence is so counterproductive with the green. Like they fight each other. So I'm wondering if there's anything that we can do about that. It looks like you're just kind of isolating it to some of these areas. I think that's fine. Let's see how that plays out. You know what? I'm not going to give any big notes now. I just want to see how this looks. That like a lower resolution, maybe a half, quarter the resolution of what the final would be, and then let it play out. Do you guys have any thoughts before Austin does a render pass?
I think it looks good.
Yeah, I think again, it's like structurally it's there. It's just like let's see it played out, and then I think that we can maybe add some like little elements here and there to really plus this up and keep it going. But really good job, really nice.
Yeah, her skin looks really nice.
Yeah, like this is a big step jump up from the last iteration. Like you hit all the notes, and then you did other things too that really like you jumped iterations here. This is great.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, this is an older version of Paul's. Paul's again. I'm so sorry. I'm missing yours yesterday. I'm not quite sure how that happened. But yeah, one of the things that we talked about was like in the reference there was a kind of like a white spot on the snow. It almost felt like heavenly, and so we just kind of wanted to and we talked it through a little bit because it was like because we've got the sun back here. All this warm light, sunsets or sunrises, whatever the case may be. The sky gets darker back behind us. So there's nothing to really indicate that would be natural lighting. And then there isn't really anything in the scene to indicate what that artificial light would be. Is that a car off camera? Is it what is the source of that? So we were talking about like whether or not it should be in there at all, and it was like at the end of the day. We're again in terms of being visual storytellers. If it helps the narrative, keep it, and let's figure out a way to utilize it. If it's not pushing our narrative further, if it's not helping us, then it's probably best to just kind of lose it because it ends up just confusing the viewer. Because it's like you have to think. I always think about this whenever I look at an image, especially something like a still, a painting, a photograph. The artist that created it, everything in the image is thought out. Everything, like, because it's the way that we approach it. Like, we think through everything. So if it's there and it doesn't provide additional narrative, then it just kind of muddies the water a little bit. So I thought it was a great conversation. I just kind of wanted to give a recap of it because I thought it was a really nice way of working through things. Okay, so we've got I think one of so I like that we darken the foreground of this. I like that it's a little bit out of focus. I know I gave the note to add that warm haze to the background. I think this is a little bit thick because because one of the things I liked about this was kind of the combination of the blues and the oranges were working out pretty well. And we kind of lose that when we put that level of haze over the top. So I think let's pull it back a little bit, but I love that it's there. I think we've got the glow coming out of the house, which looks nice. I want it, and it's like hitting the stairs pretty brightly, and then we kind of lose it on the snow in front of the house. It would be great if this, because of the light level of the environment, if this kind of trickled out and like, even though it may not totally make sense that it would hit that side of the hill, it would be great if we saw that light just kind of rolling off away from the house. Again, thinking of the house as like the beacon, it's like the beacon of light for the scene other than the sky itself. So this is going to be the brightest part. And then it just kind of falls off from there.
Do you think that there should be a little bit of light, maybe not as much as the doorway and the first window, but on the other windows a little bit maybe?
Yeah, just a little bit of value in there. So wondering if we can't just push this up a little more. I'm gonna try something here real quick. I wonder. Let me do it this way. I feel like there's a little bit too much and I know that the sky is this like rosy color. This is a stylistic thing, but I was gonna push it a little bit brighter in the highlights, and also pull off a little bit of the saturation level. Actually, probably lift these too. I'm lifting the darks a little bit. And again, this is more of like a stylistic change, but I think it's just because like snow just creates a lot of bounce light, a lot of fill. Like you don't really get a lot of dark values in snow. I think we might be able to push the midtones up a little bit too. And then actually with this, that might be getting. Let me just pull the darks down a little bit again. So it's just creating a little bit more contrast overall. Lights a little brighter, darks. Darks remain dark. They're pushed up a little bit. Midtones come up, and then pulling back of the saturation a little bit. But again, I'll let you decide that based on your stylistic choices. It was just to give you an option there. So yeah. So the main things here: pull off the fog a little bit. Let's get some more light falling off from this house. I think there's an opportunity here with if you're thinking about the sun being back here. Like it's hitting these trees really nicely. Have it hit the mountain here too, and maybe a little bit on this side too. Again, I think Theo's has it. Maybe it was Andre's. Yeah, I mean it's the opposite. We got sun coming in here, but it's hitting the mountains a little bit and providing us some shaping and on these trees as well. But this is cool. This is a unique color scheme for this shot, I think. All right, guys, I have to hop. But it's been lovely talking to all of you today. I apologize again for being late. I try not to do that as much as I can. But today it was a little out of my control. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon, and I will see you tomorrow. Yeah. All right, actually, that's tomorrow. Today's Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody. I will see you on Monday. Happy learning, everybody. All right, talk to y'all soon.